All right, hello everyone. Hi, my name is Lhey and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a live stream because I wanted to show you, this is actually the first time that I'll be talking about these brand new markers from Faber-Castell USA. These are the GoldFaber Aqua, and this is brand new. I think it just released like last week and a half ago, and so I haven't gotten a chance to really share it. I was planning on doing a video, but I just got super crazy busy that I didn't get a chance to do a video, but I did some reels and all that fun stuff for social media, but I really never gotten a chance to do anything with it, really talk about it and all that fun stuff. But let me do something real quick while we're all waiting. Here we go. Let me just share this video on Facebook so we can all have fun in here and really chit chat. But if you have any questions about these brand new markers, please ask away. Put them in the chat section down below. And if you are new here in my channel, also please do consider subscribing. If you love anything when it comes to art, creative projects, journaling, scrapbooking, lettering, illustration, drawing kawaii, and all that fun stuff, that is what I do here on my channel. All right. So again, these are the brand new GoldFaber Aqua Dual Markers. This is very comparable to the Tombow dual brush pens. So I'm super excited to share it. We're gonna try it in different papers, different journals that I have. So if you have any questions, please, I'm excited, put them in the chat section down below, and we're gonna go over your questions and we're gonna tackle everything. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna open up my live chat so I can see who's here joining us today, what is going on. Oops, here we go. All right, this is my chat button. All right, okay, so GoldFaber Aqua Dual Markers, that is a mouthful, not a handful. That is a mouthful for sure. These are comparable to the Tombow dual brush markers, and if you are new here, then you know that I am actually, what am I trying to do here right now? Okay, here we go. I'm trying to find something where I can talk to you as well. So you guys are familiar with my channel. If you guys are familiar with my channel, then you do know that I've been working with Tombow as well. I used to work with them, but for the past almost 2 years now, I've been working with Faber-Castell USA. And it's been such a pleasure. I have been doing some demos for them. I've been teaching classes with their products for Michael stores online, and I respect this company so much. They've been very kind to me, and not just to me, but they really have a deep respect to artists and also deep respect to the company and what the company believes in, which is about great products. So this we have here, the brand new set. I do have an 18 set. I do have all the colors because when they sent this to me about 3 months ago, because I was going to create some freelance work for them to use for their banners, I think posters for NAMTA. So I had all the colors back then. But now we're going to unbox this 18 color set. Right. So these are available in a total of 60 colors, 60. They unfortunately they don't have the whole set. They don't have a set that has all the 60 colors, but they do have many different sets. They have like wallets that has 6 colors in them, so they have different sets like that. They also have the most one that they have would be the 24 pack. So 24 pieces in that set. So I think that's a good place to start would be the 24. And even this 18, let's look into the colors. Let's look at the colors and see what we have here. Okay, so we have 18 colors. You have your warms, you have your neutrals in here. You have grays and browns and black. You have the yellow ochre, golden ochre, light yellow ochre. That's brand new. That is also another thing that I want to add. These markers are actually water-based dye ink, okay? So I want to talk to you about what's the difference from what the marker that they have out already, which is the Albert Dürer watercolor markers. We have it right there. And then they also have the Faber-Castell, the Pitt Artist pens, all right? So I just kind of want to talk you through the differences between these 3 markers because I think that's very important, especially if you're not new to the company, then you're probably know all of this already. But for some of you that are new to Faber-Castell, I think this is a good start knowing what is the difference between all the markers that are already out in the market. So let's start with the oldest one. I mean, this is the one that they've had forever. A lot of artists love this so much. This is the Pitt Artist pens. Now, the Pitt Artist pens, these are water-based India ink. And if you are familiar with India ink, they are known to be light fast. They are waterproof once they're dry. They don't have any odor. They don't bleed. So I have tried the Pitt Artist with many, many different types of paper. I mean, just my journals alone. I have so many journals. I have the Hobonichi. I do have the Midori journals, the Traveler's Notebook, Traveler's Company. I have tried it on a Leuchtturm paper, Leuchtturm notebook. I've tried it with an olive and Archer and Olive. Scribbles that matter, they don't bleed through. I mean, it's just amazing. Now, there's pros and cons with all of these markers, and like everything, every medium out there, there's going to be pros and cons. One thing that I find a little difficult when it comes to the Pitt Artist pens is blending. Now, they can blend and they will blend. It just takes some techniques. And one thing that I found out is that it really depends on the paper that you will be using. Okay, so in the Hobonichi, it's great because the Hobonichi uses a Tomoe River paper, which is a Japanese paper. So it's coated. So that means the India ink lays on top of the paper. And what it does, it doesn't seep in through the paper right away. So you have, some wiggle room in there. You have some time to really play with the inks and blend with them. So that's one thing that I think is a little difficult is the blending with the Pitt Artist pens. But I mean, I love it because they're waterproof. So I use it in my Hobonichi a lot. I think most of the time it's my favorite thing to use just because they don't bleed through. And I know that they're archival. And also that they are light fast, which means that all of the artwork, all of the lettering that I put in my journal will stay there for hundreds and hundreds of years, for a very, very long time. Let's put it that way. And so I know also that if it gets flooded or anything, or just accident, if I spill anything, I know that it's waterproof so that it's going to stay in, and stay intact in there. So it will stay put. It's not going to get messed up. That's one major thing that I really love about it. Okay, the next marker that Faber-Castell have, they have the Albert Dürer watercolor markers. Now, these are watercolors in a marker form. So it's going to be very comparable to the brand new GoldFaber Aqua. Now let's talk about the difference between these two. All right, so let's start with their brush tip. I want to show you how they differ from one another. So I'm just going to zoom in real quick so you guys can see. All right. So if you notice here, look at the tip. So the right side, we have the Albert Dürer watercolor markers. On the left side, sorry if my camera is having a hard time picking it up. On the left side is the brand new GoldFaber Aqua Dual Markers. Now the GoldFaber Aqua Markers is a little thinner, right? As you can see, so it's a little thinner than the Albert Dürer. Here we go. So this one is slightly thicker. That's a difference from the brush. Now let's look at the other side. Okay. So the Albert Dürer watercolor markers will have, I want to say it's a 1.5, but it could possibly a 2.0 as well, the tip of this one. So you get a bullet tip. Now the brand new GoldFaber dual markers, Aqua Dual Markers, very mouthful, they have a very, very thin tip. It's a 0.04 tip. So if you're someone that does a lot of bullet journal and you really do enjoy having a fine tip, I think that you are going to love these markers, all right? So those are the difference in the appearance. The GoldFaber is longer than the Albert Dürer, as we can see here. All right, and then I also pulled out some Tombow dual brush pens so that, of course, we can compare them as well. And I also pulled out some other ones here. So this is a Tombow dual brush, and that's a GoldFaber Aqua. They're very, very similar in size. They're also very similar in can you say width on this one? How thick, the thickness of this one? Yeah, very similar. The difference would be, so yeah, this should be a 2.5 probably, the Albert Dürer. Because now that I have the Tombow pulled up, this is definitely a bullet tip, 1.5. So this one, if it's not a 2.0, it's going to be a 2.5. So here, you can see that. So the Tombow has a 1.5 bullet tip, and then the GoldFaber, again, it has a 0.04 tip. All right, so that's the physical difference of them. Now let's look at the brush. I'm just going to put this one, put the cap. Okay. Now let's look at the brush tip. The black barrel is the Tombow. The GoldFaber Aqua has this gray barrel. And I want to add that this GoldFaber here, this one is 100% recycled. Everything from the barrel, all of that, to the cap. This is 100% recycled. And Faber-Castell has been, known to be very good at doing recycling things, doing their part to save our planet, even though when it wasn't kind of like a in thing to do, they've already been doing that. So kudos to that. All right, let's look at the tip again. So we have that difference, right? Now, of course, I'm going to have to show you guys. The tip is the brush pen looks very, very similar. But as you can see, there's a slight difference. The Tombow has this kind of like very narrow. It just goes from thick to thin to the tip. Now, if you notice, I should probably get a different color so we can really see, because it's hard to look at that yellow. Let me pick this one up. All right, this is going to be much better. There we go. So now the right side, if you notice it, you might not notice it, but I have noticed this when I picked this up, because that was my job, to look at the difference, tell them the difference, and really notice what's the difference and how we can compare it to the markers that are already out in the market. Okay, so the right side, if you're going to notice, there's a little, very slight difference from their brush tip. This one is, this one is just slightly thicker. All right, the GoldFaber. But also, what you're going to notice right now is that it has this, it doesn't go from thick to thin right away. It kind of stops over here on this part. And that's going to be really, really important, especially if you're going to do a lot of lettering. If you're going to do brush lettering, I'm going to tell you now that you're going to tell the difference from the Tombow Dual Brush to this brand new GoldFaber Aqua Dual Markers, because the tip is not going to be as flimsy as what you're going to get from the Tombow Dual Brush. I remember when I was first playing with the Tombow Dual Brush, this was even way before I started working with Tombow. I purchased the one big set, I think it was like 96 set or something like that, from Amazon. I bought it and I remember playing with it, and I remember getting so frustrated because I naturally have heavy hands. So my frustration was creating the thin strokes, because naturally I write heavy. So what I would do is I would just apply my thick strokes, and I had no problem with that. But when it comes to my thin strokes, boy, was it hard. I was really struggling. And because the brush tip is slightly flimsy, okay, I'm going to say it really is flimsy. So it's hard to get the control that I would want from a brush pen. So that was a bit of a struggle. Now there's pros and cons to everything, no matter what it is, no matter we're talking about art supplies or life or food or plays, or there's always pros and cons to everything. And at the end of it all, it's going to be all about personal preference, because even if I can sit here all night and explain to you how much I love these brand new markers and how much I love the brush pen because it's so different, I'm going to tell you now it's going to be a personal preference. Everything that I might be talking about right now, you're going to say, well, no, I don't care about those things because I write light or something. But, you can always find something that will not work for you. But all I'm sharing is something that I personally think about these brand new markers. So first of all is that the brush tip will give you much better control than the Tombow Dual brush pens. Now, when it comes to colors, because this is a water-based dye ink, Faber-Castell was able to develop new colors. So some of the colors that are here in the brand new markers, you will not find it in their Pitt Artist pens, or not even in their Faber-Castell, the Albert Dürer marker. So that's the difference. There are some brand new colors in here that is not part of their color system. So some people might find that, oh man, I wish that, that's not the case. But some people will find it, oh yeah, it's brand new colors. And that would be me. I would be the latter. I'm like, oh yeah, it's brand new colors. We have brand new colors. I love brand new colors. Okay, so difference would be, what's the difference? The tip. We have a smaller tip than the Tombow Dual brush. Now, functionality, the way you would use it, I say that they work very similar, other than the fine tip. Now, the fine tip, this is where the fun begins, because when I found out about this fun thing from the new markers, let me grab some paper here. So I was playing around, I was testing it, and I was telling them that, I said, did you guys know that aside from the brush pen that you can get, that you can get variation of strokes, you can get the thin and the thick and all that, did you know that you can do the same thing with the fine tip? Yes, I know, with the fine tip. So you get a 0.04 tip, all right? And so with this one, you can get the thin. See how small that is? So by just adjusting the way you're holding the pen and using the body, you can also get this slight variation from the thin and the thick. And this is just by using the fine tip. Because let me tell you now, if I am going to use the Tombow, it will give me a mono line, which will give me a consistent line. No matter what, it's going to give me one stroke. No matter how hard I would press on this, it would give me that same stroke. So I thought that was very cool that the fine tip would, give me just that slight variation. I thought that was super cool. See, so by using the tip, let's see how thin you can get. And let's see how thick. That's pretty cool, huh? So you get thin. Let me push it real quick. So you can get a thick part also. That's cool. Now for the brush tip, that is some real thick. Yep. And like what I mentioned, because the tip of this brush is not as flimsy as the Tombow Dual Brush Pen, I get much better control when I'm doing my upstroke or my thin strokes. Like that. But since also that the bending of the brush is not from the base, because this one you're going to notice that you're going to bend this marker from the base because it's flimsy, so you can bend it like this. So you get much thicker one. Because somehow it is much stiffer, not much, it's slightly, I should say, it is slightly stiffer, so that you really have to get used to how you're going to hold it in your hands and how much pressure you're going to apply. But then again, I always say this, it doesn't matter what kind, if it's a new brush for watercolors, if it's a new medium. I think the more you use it, the more you get used to using it, and the more you find out ways to use it, new techniques and all that. So we got that. All right. Oh, I'm doing that for another one. Now, it doesn't have a stopper like the Tombow Dual Brush. It has this little tiny stopper here. Sorry, I thought I was in focus. So that little tiny stopper. Now, at first I was a little disappointed. I'm like, oh no, it doesn't have that. But it's okay because the shape of this pen or the cap, it's not really, it has like 3 flat sides. So it's not going to roll around. So I think that's important to point out because I know I get frustrated when my markers just kind of roll around my table. Yeah, that is one frustrating. The best example of that reason why I have this silicone mat here is because it stops my markers from rolling around. That is, aside from it being pink and cute, it also helps with that. So the perfect here is this Ecoline. Look how it's just going to roll around. And if I don't have this mat, I mean, I'm telling you, it will just kind of like roll around this table, and it gets frustrating. All right, so I'm going to compare it to this one as well. This one is what is this? That's the Karen markers or Karen markers. I still don't know how to pronounce it. Well, like that. Okay. And then we have the GoldFaber Aqua. We'll put that in the last one. Okay. So you can really see the difference in the brush pen. I think the Ecoline or Ecoline will have the thinnest one of all. And then the second one would be the Tombow Dual Brush. I think that the Karen markers and this one are very, very similar. Look at that. I'm going to zoom it in again, so you guys can see. All right, another difference of the GoldFaber Aqua Dual Markers from the Albert Dürer watercolor markers is that, again, these are watercolors in a marker form, and also these markers, these are artist quality. it's also light fast. So that is the difference from this one to the brand new GoldFaber. The GoldFaber Aqua is not light fast like the Albert Dürer watercolor markers. But I want to do a test of that one, of how fast the colors are going to fade. So remind me to do a test on that one. But there we go. So this one is still slightly thicker in the base. The Faber-Castell, the Albert Dürer. And this is the GoldFaber, and that's the Ecoline, or not Ecoline, Caron brush. Carine markers. All right, so let's try and do a little bit of blending because I think it's always fun to see how the markers blend. And we're going to try using it on a watercolor paper. And I'll use it also in my Hobonichi because that's what I use most of the time. And this Midori also, I love using that. But I really want to see how well it's going to. There's no bleed through. I have some private things in there. I don't know why I got this one. Hold on. Let me grab my Hobonichi here. Okay, I know I'm zoomed in super crazy. So I'm going to zoom out real fast here. I'll go on the back. So we do a little bit of a... Okay, I'm not doing so well. Hi, Beverly. How are you? How are you today? Okay, I'm just going to use this watercolor paper here. Let's try it with a watercolor paper. This is the class we did today with Michael. So we did some painting of some donuts. I thought that was super crazy fun. We have another class on Wednesday. Next week again, we're going to be doing some lettering and writing the word aloha because hello, summer's just right around the corner. Is that crazy? It's crazy, I think. Okay, so I have two colors in here, very similar to one another. Here we go. We have cadmium yellow 107, and then we have some brilliant red 122. Oh, good girl. I'm so glad to hear that. Okay, so we'll do some simple ones first. I'll do some swatches like this. So we're gonna add a little bit of that here. Okay, and then I have some water brush in here like this. So we're just gonna blend the colors like that. The colors are crazy, crazy vibrant. I mean, look how saturated these colors are. I'm really going to put in a lot of water in here so you guys can see. But they blend so easily. Now, one of the questions I had for Faber-Castell when they sent this over to me was, do you have a blending pen? You know, because Tombow does have their blending pen, which is really just a transparent ink. I know it's crazy, right? But it is a transparent ink, and what it does, it helps two colors blend together. But they said, no, we don't. So at first I'm like, oh, I'm not sure. But then I tried it. I played around with it. The reason why is because you don't need it, because it blends flawlessly. It blends so easily, really. So I'm going to try it. There's just so much control here. All right, we're going to try and add some colors on top. And then we're going to use our lighter color to blend this. And I'm going to zoom in so you guys can really see the colors. All right, stop here like that. And then I'm going to use the yellow one, the first color that I use. And then I'll just move things around here. A little, I swear a little goes a long way. I mean, a long way. Look, that beautiful gradient that you created there. Look how easy they blend. Goodness gracious. Wow. Yeah, yep. These are just so fun. Like that. I'm going to add a little bit in here. When I say a little goes a long way, look how little that is. Not kidding. That was like a touch, a dab. And it travels. The colors, the pigments, they really travel. Like long travel. And this is without water. This is just by blending the two colors. Isn't that crazy? That is beautiful. That is super cool. I love it. I love it so much. I'm just going to use the thin pointy brush here. So we can have it here. All right. And I always make a mess. Look at this. Now, another fun thing that you can also do with these markers, you've probably seen me do this before, but if you have like any type of acetate or any type of like packaging, plastic, I'm looking around here. If you notice, I'm looking around, I'm trying to find anything like a plastic sheet or anything like that I can use. I have my cookie in here, but I still have my cookie in the plastic. I'm not going to do that. Hold on. All right, let's try and use this. That's a very big plastic. Okay, so I'm going to just use the same colors. I'm going to apply the yellow in here, and I'll do it individually. And I'll just spray it with a... This is really big. And we're just gonna touch and kiss that. Look at that. Here we go. And I'll do the same thing to the orange. I'll apply that. I'll spray it. Because it is a water-based, it means that it will always activate with water. So like what I was saying in the beginning of this video, I was talking about how much I love the Pitt Artist pens, because knowing that when they are dry, they're going to be waterproof, that's such a big bonus to me. Now, some people, when you're doing illustrations and if you like, you know what, I can move this around. I'm not satisfied with this one. All you got to do is spray it again with water like that. That just kind of move things around. You can use a brush to kind of like manipulate those colors and swoosh things around like that. But I think that's such a fun way to really add some colors in your page without, being so overwhelmed, because I know the blank white page, it's always the scary part. So for me to take that fear on my first step, I always just kind of like put in some colors in there. Even in my journals, even my bullet journal, what can I add first? Because when it's like blank white page, I'm like, sure, like I personally am super overwhelmed. Like, what am I going to do here? What ideas? You have so much ideas. And when it's actually time to create something, all the ideas are like, poof, gone, So it's like, okay, what am I going to do? So creating easy backgrounds like this, I think it's a big plus, just to take that fear, that, initial fear of the white page. It always works for me. So I hope that you try it with this new markers. Now, again, if you have any questions whatsoever regarding these brand new markers, I do have a giveaway, but it already ended on Instagram. Actually, I'm going to choose 2 winners today, but it's okay. Don't be sad. I'm going to do another giveaway here on Instagram too, but I am just working on the video. I have some projects that I have filmed and I'll upload it. And make sure to sign up for that giveaway with the brand new markers. I'm giving away 2 sets, one set of 18 markers, and I'm giving away one set of the portrait set as well. So we're giving away 2 sets of the brand new GoldFaber Aqua Dual Markers. But if there's anything here that I forgot, which I'm sure I did, because I have like so many thoughts running in my head, and I'm pretty sure that I blibber blabbered because I do that most of the time. But if you have any questions that I probably didn't talk about today, leave them in the comment section down below, and I will try my hardest to get back with you. If you are new to my channel, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you'll consider subscribing and also liking this video. Give it a thumbs up. And again, as always, stay creative and stay happy.